Why is New York City losing its middle class? An intriguing question that demands an answer. A recent study paints a compelling image of New York City's demographic shift, revealing a trend that you might find startling. While the city's allure continues to draw millionaires from around the globe, middle-income New Yorkers, those earning less than $200,000 annually, are packing up and heading for the exit. But why is this happening? The answer lies in the city's escalating cost of living. Do you know that earning $100,000 a year in New York City is considered poor? Yes, you heard it right. The high costs of housing, transportation, taxes, and food are taking a toll on the middle class. The city's skyrocketing rents, especially in Manhattan, are a significant factor. These soaring costs are pushing the middle class to the brink, making it increasingly challenging for them to maintain a foothold in the city they once called home. The rise of remote work has also played its part in this exodus. The pandemic has shown that people can work from anywhere without facing financial consequences. This newfound flexibility has led to a significant outflow of middle-income residents seeking more affordable living conditions outside the city. The city's income disparity is another critical element in this narrative. While the wealthiest New Yorkers have seen significant wage growth, the middle class is grappling with rising costs and stagnant incomes. This widening gap is making it increasingly hard for middle-income earners to keep up with the city's relentless pace. To wrap up, New York City is witnessing a middle-class exodus. The high cost of living, rising rents, and the shift to remote work are driving this demographic shift. As rents continue to skyrocket and remote work becomes the norm, middle-income earners are finding it increasingly difficult to call New York City home. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the impact of income disparity and congestion pricing in our next segment. It's not just the high costs that are pushing the middle class out. Let's explore the role of income disparity and congestion pricing. The story of income disparity in New York City is a tale of two cities. On one hand, we have the wealthiest New Yorkers. These folks are seeing their wages grow significantly year after year. They're thriving, enjoying the fruits of a robust economy, and capitalizing on opportunities that seem to be reserved for those at the top of the economic ladder. On the other hand, we have the middle class. This group is not enjoying the same upward mobility. In fact, their wages have been largely stagnant. While the cost of living in the city continues to rise, their incomes are not keeping pace. This widening income gap is making it increasingly difficult for the middle class to maintain their footing in the city. Now, let's add another variable to the equation: congestion pricing. The city has introduced this measure as a way to discourage congestion, charging drivers a fee to enter certain parts of the city during peak hours. This initiative is aimed at reducing traffic and promoting the use of public transportation, which in theory sounds quite reasonable. However, the reality of congestion pricing is a different story for middle-income commuters. For those who rely on their cars to commute to work, this additional fee is yet another financial burden to bear. What was once a routine part of their day now comes with an added cost, further stretching their already strained budgets. This combination of widening income disparity and the added cost of congestion pricing is creating a perfect storm for the middle class. They're caught in a squeeze, with their income on one side and rising costs on the other. The city that they call home is becoming increasingly unaffordable, pushing them towards the outskirts or even out of the city entirely. With the rich getting richer and the added financial burden of congestion pricing, the middle class is feeling the squeeze. As if rising costs and income disparity weren't enough, middle-income residents are also contending with service cuts and safety concerns. Due to an escalating budget crisis, the city of New York finds itself in a precarious position, needing to make some tough decisions. Unfortunately, these decisions often involve reducing funding to various crucial services, including fire departments, police departments, schools, and libraries. Let's take a closer look at what these service reductions mean. When funding to fire and police departments is cut, the immediate consequence is a reduction in personnel and resources. This could potentially lead to longer response times in emergencies and a decrease in overall safety. Similarly, cuts to schools and libraries mean fewer resources for students, less access to educational materials, and potentially even closures on certain days like Sundays. But the impact doesn't stop there. These service cuts can significantly affect the quality of life for middle-income residents. For instance, fewer police patrols could raise safety concerns, particularly in areas where services are already limited. Similarly, reduced educational resources can negatively impact the overall student experience, potentially leading families to question their future in the city. Interestingly, the impacts of these service cuts might be more pronounced in neighborhoods with lower apartment prices. These are often the areas that are not in popular or high-income districts, so they're already grappling with fewer resources. With reduced funding, the situation could worsen, exacerbating the existing disparities. Let's not forget the role of the city's budget crisis in all of this. New York City is staring down a $7 billion budget hole, primarily due to an asylum crisis that's expected to cost a staggering $12 billion over the next 3 years. In such a scenario, it's the city's services and its middle-income residents who bear the brunt. Service cuts and safety concerns are further eroding the middle class's confidence in the city's ability to provide a decent quality of life. As the city grapples with these issues, it's becoming increasingly clear that the middle class is being squeezed out of New York City, perhaps forever. So, what does this mean for families in New York City? The shifting landscape of New York City presents unique challenges for families. Rising rents and living expenses are causing an undeniable strain. Imagine this. You're a family of 4, and your rent has just increased yet again. You're already budgeting every cent, and now you need to find ways to stretch your income even further. And let's not forget about service cuts. These aren't just numbers on a page, but real, tangible changes that families are feeling. Reduced funding for fire departments, police departments, schools, and libraries directly impacts the quality of life for middle-income residents. Education, the cornerstone of our children's future, is also under threat. With potential library closures on Sundays and other cutbacks, the overall student experience is at risk. Parents are now left questioning whether New York City, the place they call home, is the best place for their children's future. The harsh reality is that the city is facing a $7 billion budget hole, largely due to an impending asylum crisis. This financial burden will inevitably trickle down, affecting services and quality of life for residents. The future of families in New York City is hanging in the balance. The combination of skyrocketing rents, reduced services, and the increasing cost of living are creating a challenging environment. As a result, it's becoming harder for families to see a sustainable future here. The combination of these factors makes it increasingly difficult for families to envision a sustainable future in New York City. To sum it all up, New York City is becoming a challenging place for the middle class. The exodus continues as the cost of living soars, rents skyrocket, and the city's budget crisis leads to service cuts. Remote work has provided an escape route, and an increasing income disparity only compounds the issue. All these factors are making it difficult for families to envision a sustainable future in the Big Apple. More families are finding it challenging to lead a normal life in what is now considered America's most expensive city. If you found this video informative, please subscribe and like. Thank you for watching.